What's going on, everyone? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. This is our weekly Forex forecast for the upcoming week of January the 6th through the 10th, 2020. All right, let's kick it off. We have a busy week ahead of us, obviously. We have traders from all over the world coming back to the markets. We also have some really big geopolitical events with the assassination of Iran's top military commander. So, what's going on? How the market's going to price everything in? The market opened on Sunday. I expect some gaps one way or another. We'll see if they get filled right away. Listen, stand aside in the beginning. Wait for the traders to come back. Let's see what happens during Asia. Let's see what happens during London. We'll assess the situation again during New York, and then we'll be ready to go ahead and pounce on some trades. It's really important as you come back into the markets to make sure you really get a feel again for the flow before you get involved. It's going to save you a lot of money, and it's actually going to help you make money as well. All right, let's kick this off with the Euro US dollar. I'm going to take this slow. This is my first analysis since our last weekly Forex forecast. I wasn't trading last week. I'm just getting back into the flow right now. Tomorrow, our live stream at 9 o'clock Eastern Time is going to be a big one. I'm really looking forward to it. If you can, join us live. If not, go ahead and watch the replay. All right, so what's happened? I'm going to do an analysis as if I didn't look at the charts all week, which I wasn't following them really too much. And here we see that we had this huge up move on the Euro US dollar. This was year-end flows taking place. And then what happened? It wasn't able to hold this broken resistance over here, right here, that didn't hold that support. Price came all the way back down, then has come back up, tested that, and is now held as resistance and come back off a little bit. Let's look at this on the 8-hour. I want to show you exactly what I mean. I want you to get a good look at this. After price broke off of that resistance should have became support, but it didn't. It didn't hold. Price came back down and then came up here and tested that. It held that as resistance and has since backed off. All right. In order to look bullish again here, you're going to have to reclaim this resistance level up here. All right. And until then, although we're neutral, we're definitely leaning to the bearish side. Let's see what happens early in the week. Let's see if we get another look down at support down here. Again, what I'm trying to do right now is just get back into flow by looking at all the currency pairs and finding out how they're moving, what their movement is, so that once I get it, once traders come back into the market tomorrow, once everything settles in from these geopolitical events that have taken place, then we could go ahead and we'll be ready to attack. Right now, we're more of an overview defensive posture, wanting to see what exactly is going on and how we're going to get involved. All right, let's now take a look at the DXY, the US dollar index. And this is really interesting. This is really good for us to take a look at right now. Why? When we last left off, price was right about here. We had this channel drawn in over here and down here, and this resistance level drawn in. What's happened since? Price came up and took a look at this resistance and this resistance trend line over here, and then was rejected by it, okay? And then came all the way down, crushed through the support, came all the way down, and then tested the lower end of the channel. That's why we have these channels drawn in already. Look what type of guides they provide. This is what we're looking to do. We're looking to lean off of resistances, sell the resistances, and lean off of supports, buying supports. All right, so technically this has been really nice, but where does that leave the US dollar right now? Well, I don't know. We're going to have to wait to see what happens this weekend and whether or not that these geopolitical events price in a safe haven dollar, or maybe even look to sell it off further, being that they figure that the US dollar is a heightening risk. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that we're within this channel. And while we're within it, we're just continue consolidating, okay? We have a little bit of resistance up here. If we get closer to that resistance, then we're going to really watch how price reacts off of that, okay? That's the next thing we're looking for, is what happens if price gets up and towards this resistance. At the same time, on the downside, we're going to be able to extend this channel down. We're going to need to break through this support down here and this trend line support in order for things to really get ugly for the dollar, okay? Until then, Until that happens, until we're proven wrong, I think that we're going to see some dollar strength creep up in these next couple of weeks. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm just going to follow the charts, but this is what we're looking at right now. All right, let's take a look at gold, XAU, US dollar, and wow, this is also looking really, really nice. Now, many of you know, those who follow us on a day-to-day basis know that we were waiting if and when and if gold took out this resistance right over here. Let's go ahead and change that over to support now. If gold took that out, we were looking to get long. It was during a holiday. Never had the opportunity. If we broke out this, if we took out this level, we said that we were looking for here to take profit up into this channel over here. Price has blown past that target level as well, and price is now it's testing, looks like, yearly highs here, probably 5-year highs right now, I would gather, to that gold is testing right now. So it's at a pretty critical position. What's going to happen here? Is it going to break out? If it breaks out, let's go ahead and jump to a monthly chart. If it breaks out over here, I think that we have a lot of room to the upside. I think we're going to be taking a look close to 1700 if we're able to do that, possibly even higher, 1780. So there's a lot of room to the upside here. Do you go ahead and chase this now because of the geopolitical events that have taken place, because some bombs have been flying? I think the idea is to do that before those things happen, not after. Right now, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to be watching this pair closely next week and see how price reacts along this resistance up here. Let's draw that in. Because why is this resistance? Well, this is a yearly high over here. This is also a 5-year high. Step back. I guess we got to jump down to the daily to do that, to the weekly to do that. Okay, you can see there was the support broken through. Then it was resistance. That's where we're trading at now. It goes back to here. You see the touches of that support over here. This resistance going back and forth. Resistance, support. It's a pretty big level. All right, what's price going to do this week? I don't know. Pretty interesting though. I'm really interested to see whether or not it's rejected over here up at these levels, and if it is, what are we going to do? Well, I think we'll probably wait to come down to this level here and see how price reacts around this support. Maybe around 1518. Look to see if we want to go ahead and establish a long position. We're in a strong uptrend right now. Well, if we get back down to 1494, that looks like a good place also to look for longs. But right now, as we're testing this resistance here, we need to wait and see what happens. I'm not going to play a rejection to the downside of this resistance. If we break above it, we're going to reevaluate and see how we get long. Like I said, there's about $1.50 or more to the upside, $150. That's a big deal. Again, this is an exciting pair to watch and an exciting time, but we need a little bit more time before we can make a move, because this was our move down here and it was vacation. Didn't get a hold of it. So we're going to see what our next move is. All right, let's move over to the pound US dollar. All right, what are we looking at? Let's just get a bigger perspective and now zoom in, taking a look here at the daily. We're not even dropping down to the 8-hour at this point, right? Normally you see us first look at the daily, then drop down to the 8-hour. That's because we look for some precise entries on the 8-hour time frame. We're not looking to look for entries at this point. We're looking to get an overview of the market going into tomorrow's session. Tomorrow during New York session, we're really going to pick it up. We're really going to get a feel for the market. Right now, we're just kind of like doing a warm-up run, getting ready for next week. You don't want to jump into the market after taking 2 weeks off and start trading right away. That's a recipe for disaster. What you really want to do is really just get back into the groove of things, really get a feel for it, and then start taking some positions. So the pound US dollar really just, it's just something that I really feel like avoiding lately. Ever since we've been in this area over here, and you could see ever since this breakout, I've been on the sidelines, right? Well, actually, I was on the sidelines except for this one trade down here when it looked like it might be a breakdown. For the past 3 months, I've been on the sidelines on the pound, and I'm going to continue to stay there right now. I don't see anything giving me any type of edge, any type of clarity. Listen, it's really smart as a trader to say that you don't see any type of clarity and just keep waiting until you do. What you want to do is you want to look for setups and opportunities that are clear and stick with those. There's so many different currency pairs, so many different setups developing. There's always opportunity. Go where the opportunity is clear and stay away from where it's just fuzzy. All right, so let's move over to the pound Japanese yen, and similar story. All right, definitely been on the sidelines here for a long time, and right now continue to do so. But I want to draw on some important levels with you. All right, let's draw in a support right here because we're trading at support. Let's draw that in over. Okay, let's bring that down a little bit. Get rid of those wicks. That looks like a really good support area. So what happens if we get below it? All of a sudden, are we bearish? I wouldn't go that far yet. You have another support below it as well. Let's draw that one in. All right, now we got some important levels in there. We're still above it. It was still quite bullish. What happens if we bounce off this? Well, coming into this weekend, I expect we're going to see some Japanese strength. We might even see some gaps on the yen pairs. That's what I'm perceiving is going to happen on Asia. I don't know if they're going to hold or not. If we get a gap down over here, okay, and maybe even a test of this support down here, and then those gaps come up and fill, and we get back above this support line over here, then things might start getting interesting for the pound Japanese yen. All right. Right now, again, it's just a matter of seeing what the picture is, kind of putting the puzzle pieces together and getting back into that flow of the market to go ahead and take advantage of things when you see them more clearer. I'm really interested to see what this market's open is going to look like tomorrow. So until then, I need some more clarity. And right now, again, I'm just doing my best to get an overview and to get back into the flow of things. And I hope this is helpful for you as well. All right, let's move over to the US dollar, Japanese yen. This is the first time in 2 weeks I've looked at this pair. And this is an interesting story that the charts are telling right now. First, let me give you some perspective. We are trading right now. Look at this rising wedge. All right. Price is clearly over here, broke down out of that rising wedge. All right. And then came back up into it. Came up into this resistance over here and is now falling out and broken out of that wedge pattern again and then taking out multiple levels. I need to zoom in here with you. I need you to see this. All right. After it broke down this support over here, it came back to this support, tested this resistance, and was rejected by this resistance again, this time taking out this support. Do you see here how many bullish levels have been taken out? Came back down, took out this support level again. What are you guys seeing? I'm seeing this breakdown of this rising wedge. Here it held, came back in. The second breakdown is taking out 1, 2, 3 important support levels and is now trading below it. This looks entirely bearish. It looks like, again, I think we're going to see a gap down in yen pairs in the morning. I don't know if they're going to hold or not. We'll see if that happens. I'm thinking that's what we're going to see. I might be wrong. I could be wrong, but that's what my intuition tells me. We're going to see some gap downs on these yen pairs, and then let's see what happens. Let's see if they close the gap. Let's see if not only does it close the gap, but come back up and take a look at this resistance. If we do get another look at this resistance here and are rejected by it, price resumes downwards, then I think it might be time to get involved here in some Japanese, US dollar, Japanese yen shorts. If we are able to regain any of these levels, I'm not going to turn bullish. I'm not going to turn bullish. There's too much overhead resistance here right now. I need to be proven right on this pair. Again, it's been a while since I've taken a look at this pair. All vacation, I have not looked at it. It's my first look at it. There's a lot going on. We'll look at it again tomorrow morning together, and we'll get a better assessment of what's going on. All right, moving over to the euro, Japanese yen. Wow, again, a lot is happening. Let's just take a step back really quick. Let's look at this. Well, we have this trendline support here. We've been watching for this. We're looking for this price to held every time it's traded against it. And finally, we have a breakdown here. So you could see across the board, the Japanese yen strength taking foot. This is a pretty big deal for this trend line to be broken here. That's a very big deal. Look over here. We had this in here, this sell zone marked out. for months. And look what happened. Prices came into that sell zone. Again, this is during a time we weren't looking to trade. It was during the real secondary test, and then resumption downward occurred during vacation. That's fine. We'll get it when it happens during the year. It's not a problem. But look how these levels come into play, and look how important they are. All right. So what happens now? We have this breakdown. I do want to look at this on the 8 hour. I'm interested to see this breakdown. All right. So this is now a resistance level. So price is broke down out of the channel, taking out this support level, and already come up and tested it, and it looks like it's holding as resistance. All right, so we're in a bit of no man's land. It's not as if I could jump on a trade over here sometime on Monday. We're gonna have to look at this closely during the New York session after Asia and London have gotten out of the way. Take a look at the Euro Japanese yen and see what type of opportunities it's offering. I'm not chasing this to the downside. No way. Look at this. This is now resistance up here. If we're able to get a look at this trend line over here, I'm going to draw this red now. I'm going to mark that red. I don't want to make that big. There you go. I'll make it big. If we get another look at this trend line over here and this resistance up here, this will be a fantastic place to look for a sell. All right. Not that it's going to happen. Yeah, we could keep running down. I don't know what the market open is going to be like. But if we do get up here, and the reason why I'm talking myself through this right now is so that I'm aware of it. And if we do get a look up there, I'm going to look really to lean into this. Looks like a good area for a short. Let's see what happens. Again, we're just getting ready, finding out what's going in the market, taking a look, get back into the flow. We're going to pick our setups as they happen. But right now, we just need to get back into that groove. All right, let's take a look at the Australian dollar, US dollar. We're looking at this long, year-long trend line breakout. Since the breakout, price came in, took a look at this resistance, was rejected by it. Then this broken resistance held a support in this area right here, and then went up, took out this resistance, and then tested it successfully right here. These two down bars, tested that successfully as support. Price resumed upwards. Came into this area over here. Look at that. Look at my mouse. Look at the horizontal line. That's a resistance line right there. Let's draw that in. Let's mark that red. We're going to need that as a reference. All right. And then what happens? We came back down and look at the support. This is still bullish. All right. Let's see if we get closer to this line of support down here next week. And if price resumes off it, we can lean into that. Or don't think we might not come down lower. We might come down and look at this trend line again. You got a support line down here as well. If we get into this pocket over here, well, then that looks really nice. That looks like an opportunity. Let's draw that in as a later reference as well. That's something to really lean into. But first, we'll deal with what's up here. Let's see how price reacts around here. Again, until the support line is broken, it's support, and I'm looking to buy off it. All right? Especially in a bull trend, in a bullish trend right now. The trend is up right now. Yep, strong trend. All right. All right. So let's keep going. Let's also look right now at the New Zealand dollar. No, the Canadian dollar. All right, here's a look at the US dollar, Canadian dollar, and the Canadian dollar just continues to outperform. So nice, so strong. Again, this looks like a pair to really continue to watch. Right now, though, well, let's take a step back here. It looks like we're at some decent support levels down here. We got a little bit of a supply zone to work through. What's going to happen with the dollar? Again, we don't know. We're waiting to see what the story is over the weekend, how the dollar opens up, whether or not we're leaning into some strength or not. But any temporary US dollar strength, let me extend this trend line over here. It's an important one. All right. Is there another resistance line over here I will need to draw in? All right. Any chance we get to lean into this, we're going to be looking for shorts. Right now, though, Canadian dollar has been so strong. we might be in this supply zone right now. Might be in some area we need to really work through. We could see a little bit of a bounce here, but there's no way I'll trade counter trend here. The U.S. dollar has been weak last couple of weeks. Canadian dollar is super strong. No, no, I want to wait to see if we get up here and lean to the downside over here. Right now, although I expect the Canadian dollar to continue to outperform, there's no trade set up right now at all. This goes to neutral. This is yellow. This is just wait and see. All right, let's also take a look here at crude. All right, I need to extend this trend line we've been working with over here. And you could see what happened. We had the trend line extended to here. And then price has since came over in this area. And again, we are talking about leaning in against this trend line. The only way to play crude was to lean off of this trend line. There you go. Price came in, tested that trend line support, and then, wow, look at that move. Again, this has to do with the attack that occurred in Iraq on the Iran military commander, top commander, and I don't know what's going to happen with oil on Monday. We're going to wait and see on the opening. You don't really usually want to buy things after the event. You want to be positioned beforehand. Here you had the entry off of this support. That's what we've been waiting. We weren't going to chase it. We were waiting to see if price came back down into that support, and then you lean off it to the upside. Until this trend line is broken to the downside, things are just really pretty bullish, and you have to stick with it. All right. So what's going on now? Take a step back, and you got a supply zone over here, pretty decent supply zone that you could see some sellers come in and lean against. It's got a lot of work to do. Watch what happens if there's any gaps. Watch what happens if there's any gaps on Monday, and then wait to see if that gap holds or not. I wouldn't go chasing it right now. The way I'm looking at this, if we get any type of further upside on oil, and by upside, I mean upside, let's say, we need to really find some strong resistance. And there it is right there. There's some strong resistance up there. You can see it over here. Resistance, support, 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 broken, resistance, support, support. All right, there it is, resistance. So you get a test of this down here and then a breakdown of this trend line. That might be an opportunity for a long-term short on oil. What do you think is happening with the global economy? Do you think that it's recovering? Do you think in 2020 we're going to see a recovery? If we do, stay long oil. But I'm waiting for the breakdown. I think in the within a couple of years, probably the year after the election, we're seeing oil trade significantly lower, and this could be a gift. This could be a gift in these upcoming weeks and months. So let's continue watching it and waiting. And that's my look at oil. All right, and let's take a look at the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. We know the Canadian dollar has been pretty strong. In this overview, we've seen the yen actually showing some strength against all the pairs we looked at, but not here against the Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar is still holding within this trend, within this channel over here. And this lower support line is definitely holding up. It's right now trading down here at some support. Watch this one. We'll watch this one together on Monday, right? Any opportunity, any tests of this trend line, even a little bit further to the downside, and then a resumption upwards could provide a nice opportunity, all right? So again, if we start seeing the current yen strength we have taper off, we want to look to be on the long side with the Canadian dollar, all right? The Canadian dollar has been the strongest. It's still holding up the best versus the Japanese yen. All right. So if we do see any situation where things are reversing, we're going to look here. But we have a lot to assess on Monday. Hey, listen, if you get the opportunity to join us live on Monday, we really look forward to having you. It's going to be a really important session. If not, watch the replay. It's going to be a really good session, a really important one because it's going to be our first full session since the vacation. I hope you all have a great weekend. I hope you're all doing well. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, go ahead and do so, and I will talk to you soon.